we are at war. People talk about World War III. We've been at war for a long time.
So the collective is a very dangerous thing.
It is our responsibility over planetary affairs.
We need to move like the Chinese, bro.
We were a time and space rule.
Ancient psychology and adoration of God, they would consume their God.
Right? They're not trying to give you the basis of what makes you who you are.
There's no excuse for us to still have the quote-unquote proverbial street.
We get indoctrinated with everyone else's ancestors but our own.
You don't create nothing new if it ain't broken.
We don't actually want to work for God. We want God to work for us.
There's 19 keys. 19 keys.
I appreciate my pops for teaching me how to be a guy.
From a boy to a man, and ultimately back into the natural state of being into a God.
As guys, we're supposed to always move with that higher self. But I have to be able to execute it. Having knowledge is not power. The execution of knowledge is power. Knowledge makes a man unfit to be a slave. Because the only real knowledge you can get is knowledge of self.
This is the highest level. The highest level is ownership. The highest level is power. The highest level is sovereignty. The highest level is higher consciousness. The highest level is when we own our own culture.
Excellence at a very high level. Not eye level. A high level. Like that.
It's time for a high level conversation.
We're here for another high level conversation.
19 keys, and this is
High level conversation.
tap in with the God.
Peace, family. It's 19 Keys with another high-level conversations. Today, we're brought to have a very powerful conversing with someone who I've been actually wanting to have on this show since the beginning of it. You know, throughout the world, throughout ages, I believe that there are certain masters of the mystics, if you will. People who can see and people who can do things and people who know things that the average mind not only doesn't want to know, either has the inability to or doesn't want to know. Because sight comes with responsibility, right? Ability comes with accountability to do something with what you know and what you have. And sometimes that's the sharing of that gift that you have. And the sharing is the work within itself. Because each one of us has our own duty of what we're supposed to do with what we're supplied with, right? You know, my goal with this platform is to give even more platform for those who should be known, and not known from an egoistic, praiseworthy standpoint, but from a value standpoint, because we are at war. People talk about World War III. We've been at war for a long time, and there's been way more wars than three. This war is a war that will never end, right? Even when the war is won, a new war begins, and that's the maintaining of that victory, the maintaining of that state, right? The ideas of freedom, justice, equality, equanimity, equity, whatever you want to go to, all require war in order to maintain, right? To see the unseen is to teach the world beyond their senses. Senses make man ignorant because he relies on them to learn things that his senses cannot teach him. And the man can be manipulated through his senses. When we speak word, we're not speaking from root. The root comes from the number, and the number comes from the frequency. And so our intuition, our senses, our intuitive understanding of things is the true language of reality before we condense it down to other forms, right? Now, the good brother A.A. Rashid is somebody that has been an introducer of knowledge to many who once knew nothing about Qabalah, mysticism, the dark arts, if you will, design, juxtaposition. He is a lecturer, he is a teacher, he is an educator, he is a scholar in his own masterful right. He is a person that has led the leaders, influenced the influencers. You know, he helps those with the protocols of design, to understand the symbols of reality, to use them, because symbols are a language within themselves. And one thing that I've always admired about the brother is his ability to give instant praise. I see the brother and he say legend, right? And when he does that, it's almost like he's evoking a destiny for you to fulfill. Whether you feel you are a legend or not, he's giving you a mission and he's evoking purpose around you. And if you don't have somebody that can give you that feeling and evoke that purpose, then perhaps you need to increase the circles in your circle, right? You need to increase the sacred geometry around you so that people can activate that within, that you may not even be able to see, but certain words unlock. So without further ado, I'm about to have a very powerful conversation with one of the keys, right, of the world, of our society, the good brother 11 Rashid, otherwise known as AA Rashid. How you feeling today?
Peace and love. Peace and love. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Man, thank you for being here.
Yes, sir.